to order. Sorry about that. Can we have a roll call, please?
Carol Killian. Here. Christos Mavronis.
Here.
Larry McDermott. Victor Gooden. Harry Lloyd.
Here.
Bob Rand.
Here.
Derek Harris.
Here.
Keith Norden. Nancy Kiefer. Katrina Friel. Here. And that's it for the roll call.
All right, thank you. Can we have an approval of the minutes, a motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
Second.
I'd second that. I'd like to compliment these minutes. This was a very complete set of minutes.
Thank you.
I thank you very much.
Oh, very
you.
good. Good, well
Thank
done.
you.
I second.
How did Ms.
Okay.
Campbell doing?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Okay, reports. I think we're going to have a short meeting today. Pretty lean agenda. Katrina, why don't you start us out with reports from Volusia County?
I guess I am it. So last night at the county council meeting, they confirmed the new economic development director, and that is a gentleman named Lou Paris. He has been in the community for a while. He brings more than 15 years of experience to the business and economic development fields. He began his career as a sales and marketing director for a multinational softwood sawmill in Germany. He was then the manager of Stetson University's Prince Entrepreneurship Program from 2009 to 2023, served as assistant director and adjunct professor director. Most recently was the operations director for a company called Globofran, an investment consultancy firm in Miami. He was the 2021 Ambassador of the Year for the Volusia County Incubator, and he previously, a few years back, worked at CareerSource. So we will be welcoming Lou next Monday.
Very good. Is there going to be any kind of reception or welcome? No, okay.
No,
For an outreach to a meet and greet, anything like that?
no, we hadn't planned anything like that. We didn't do that with the last director
Okay,
either,
okay.
so.
All right. Yeah.
He'll be out in the community. You'll
Yeah,
get
good.
to know him.
We need to get him in. Well, he'll be attending here. Is he going to come speak to us?
He will. I've been doing it since April when Helga Van Eckert left. I've been filling this seat, and I will be able to bow out gracefully and let the director do the director's job.
Good, then we will get to know him. Good, very good.
Well, we'll miss you.
I know.
Thank you very much. I will miss you as well.
Very
You can
good.
still come.
Pardon?
That doesn't mean you can't come still.
Depends on who's in the audience.
All right. Keith is not here from Team Volusia, so we will skip to Nancy, and Nancy's not here. So let's move on to Jeff, Economic and Strategic Opportunities Report.
Yeah, Nancy's probably still recovering from this weekend because she was volunteering
Yeah.
out at the Speedway, so she's.
Yeah, they had a long weekend
Keith
of
was
waiting.
there. Keith was
Yeah.
there all day, too.
Yeah, true. Just a couple of things. One, I presented y'all the TRT meeting, TRT update for both December and January, since I missed a month and getting it produced. And then you have your January numbers for the number of COs for residential by type. I used to have duplex in the mix as well. However, our new computer system that we have for permits does not track duplexes. So what I have to do is I have to look at units that were CO'd completely. So that's why it breaks out better as single family as opposed to the number of duplexes, which come to find out a lot of the duplexes that were actually being constructed were latitudes.
Right.
So we just now are just going to count them as single family.
Okay.
These numbers are down as opposed to the same time even last year in our mid-year point. So we are starting to see a little bit of a slowdown in the housing, which we'd expect to see as interest rates have gone up and the costs have all gone up. So we do see that.
On that,
Yes, sir.
I would imagine, are we seeing permits for multifamily projects just stopping? I mean, are they still coming in, or are they?
We're getting them. As you look at the TRT report, you'll
Yeah.
see that there's still some, there's probably 6, I'm going to guess, real quick, looking at the list of multifamily.
But that's long before the permit, they come in for permits.
Correct. Yeah, this report is the initial kickoff point
Right.
for that.
That
So there-
permitting, they might be submitting permits a year from now. if they're
Correct.
here. What, are we seeing permit activity holding fairly strong or no?
I have to talk to Glenn, because normally I don't look at permits issued, because permits issued is not you can get issued a permit and they can get sat on
Right.
and nothing happened with them. So I don't, that's why I look at COs, because those are actual units constructed and now available for citizens to move into. So, but I can ask him if we're seeing a decline in permits issued now versus, say, in the past.
Yeah, okay.
I'd be
Yes, ma'am.
curious as to the permitting or the request or whatever, however you do it for more apartment projects, because it seems like apartment projects are just coming up everywhere.
Yeah, and so when we use the term multifamily, I'm using that as anything above a duplex. So that would become, includes a triplex,
Oh, really? Okay.
quadruplex. I'm using the term multifamily, anything above a duplex
Okay.
unit.
Okay.
So, so when you look at the TRT report, all of those are apartments.
Multifamily,
Yeah, when they say multifamily, it's apartment, but I use multifamily interchangeably with, because it may be apartments, it may be a condo,
It
maybe,
just seems that every time we go around a corner, they're putting in new construction for these 3 and 4-story apartments. I mean,
But-
it's crazy.
And I will say, those were permitted some time ago.
No, I know they were. I know that.
And that's why I was asking the permit question, because I think, nationally, multifamily development has really slowed. I don't think Florida really has, though, that much. But underwriting for lending is really tight, has tightened up substantially on multifamily from lenders. And that with construction costs and rents are actually coming down a little bit on a national level. So the combination of those items make it very difficult to come out of the ground with a new project. So,
I think that there's saturation point has got to be reached, but the pipeline catches up with that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really what is coming down the road. And there have to be, when developers look at this stuff, they're got to be doing their performers and their absorption rates and their vacancy rates. And so as you hit this absorption or this saturation point, then I think they would look to other markets.
Yeah, right.
We get a lot of people every day in Florida, and I guess the apartments are a good stopping point before they select where they want to live. But there's still got to be a point where you're going to have more units. And
Yeah,
I've
and-
seen this in other parts of
And
the
in
country.
Florida, I don't know if we're there yet.
I don't either.
I think Florida is kind of the exception. Maybe Florida, Texas, and
Texas.
Arizona are the exception. So it'll be interesting to see how that unfolds. Very good.
so just a reminder, tomorrow morning is the Costco grand opening. Last week, I met with a Canadian company that does manufacturing, call it metal boxes, for lack of a better term. for electronics. They do a lot of work in the aerospace and the military. And so they're looking to move from, even though we have a pretty decent trade relationship with Canada, still dealing with trying to get things for DOD and the aerospace and getting through the regulations and getting stuff across the border. And they also do some computer cybersecurity.
Yeah.
So they're looking to move slowly into the area. So we met with them and got them connected with
How
some
big a
folks.
building do they occupy typically?
65,000 in Canada total. All pretty good sized buildings, so 30, 35,
Yeah.
I think 165. So maybe even more than that, maybe. So they're looking to move some office staff and some engineers because they will design the box, if you will. They'll even do one-offs. So they have some computer folks that do the CAD work to design that. They're looking to move all of them initially down here with the cybersecurity folks sooner rather than later. So
So do you work in conjunction with Team Volusia on that?
haven't talked to them yet about this because they haven't given me, the question I kept asking were, especially for this, is office space. Because that's what they're really going to need initially, which is something that we don't see a lot of right now. There's not a lot of people looking for office space. But I need to get them nailed down on what size they really need before I start having conversations with folks and saying, I need office space. I don't know how much office space, not sure exactly how many people we're going to need here.
But I think Team Volusia monitors all that pretty closely,
Yeah.
right?
So Jeff, there's one thing to keep in mind while you're talking to them. So when it comes to state incentives for out-of-country or out-of-state businesses coming in, it is usually a but-for situation. So if they are looking for any kind of incentives from the state, they cannot sign a lease
Okay.
to qualify for those incentives.
I'll keep that.
Yeah, and again, Team Volusia will walk them through that. So the way I understand it is, the county, you guys are working with companies that are growing, that are here, that are growing, right? Correct?
So
And Team Volusia, they're commissioned to work with attracting new companies to the area.
So the way it works is that the county contracts with Team Volusia to do the marketing and outreach for the county to go ahead and, sing our praises and try and recruit those businesses in here. We work in conjunction on those recruitment projects with Team Volusia. There depends on where the company is going. So if it's airport property, to Daytona Beach International Airport, then the county would actually work that recruitment project. So there is a handoff at one point where Team Volusia goes ahead, recruits and brings them in, and then once they're in market, we take over.
Right. So I guess, yeah, okay.
I have a question concerning the proposed project on 400 Henry Butts Drive, where they're going to be they're trying to convert a church to a 4-unit multi-family development.
Correct.
Yes. So how is that process going along? I didn't realize that.
So at this point, what happens is a project is proposed or brought to staff, and then staff looks at it and says, based upon the land development code and all the standards that are in it. So that includes all the development standards. In this case, it's a redevelopment. So what are the things that they have to comply with? So I know in particular on this one of the challenges it has is parking, because it's a small lot.
Yeah, I helped build that church.
The churches
I just found out this.
is pretty tight
Yeah.
on the site. And so one of the challenges they have to do is work through on figuring out either reducing maybe the number of units or something for that to go through like that.
Well, I know one of the concerns in the area was that being that they would be able to go ahead and start using that property as being taxable again. Because, and so that is something that, you know, it's a plus in the area because right now the church had been left dormant for some time. But I didn't realize that they had actually made proposals to try to do this, so.
Yeah, and a lot of times, so what'll happen is, in this case, and I don't think they've actually, they may have sold it, I don't know if they
Still a
had
for sale
sold
sign
it,
out there.
that a developer,
See if
Use
they're
it now.
able to do it
yeah,
before they buy
will
it.
come in and say,
Right.
hey, because it's all part of their due diligence, as
Absolutely.
we were talking about before the meeting, that what are their challenges they're gonna have to face? And it makes it real easy for the developer to know then, is this a project that I want to undertake?
Yes, yes. Okay.
You know, kind of gauge my chances based upon the land development code regulations that I have to comply with.
Okay. All right, thank you.
So they would need like 2 spaces per unit? Like what is the,
I think on multifamily, I think it's
Multifamily.
1.5. I mean, and it's been a while since we had this project, but it's a small site. The building takes up most of the site. And it was a situation, I think, when the church was built, that there may not have been parking regulations for churches. And even if there were, you let them use on-street parking, they're there for, 2 hours on a Sunday and maybe 2 hours on Wednesday. So 4 weeks out of the week, they're using on-street parking, and the rest of the time it's not being used. Or maybe one if the pastor's there, and maybe the 2 for the secretary maybe that's going to
Yeah.
be there. And so there's some other ways to look at it when you look at it as a church. Heavy use, small periods of time versus 1.5 cars needed all the time, every day.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it just changes the way we have to look at those regulations.
Okay.
I have a question.
Sure.
On this TRT, there's a multi-parcel here, site plan for multi-story condo, east side of North Atlantic. Is that 2000 North Atlantic? The address to that site
Where are we?
plan?
Where are you?
See it down here in the TRT, down 3 up.
Yeah, the one that
The one across from my diner.
What, you afraid you're gonna lose your view?
It's gone already.
Yeah,
Big
always,
mounds of dirt.
Yeah, sell that.
Yeah.
I believe it is, but I'll double check. for
It
you.
looks like, because it is 5 parcels.
Yes,
So they're submitting their site plan. They're getting ready to submit their site plan.
yes,
And they're not asking for anything above and beyond the existing what is it, PUD?
PD? No,
They're not. Because initially they wanted to go 100,000 stories high.
Oh, God.
no,
No,
I
not
will,
that, some-
I'll follow up with
Really?
this. figure.
They wanted to go 35, and they had the
Yeah, that was
meeting.
some years back, yeah.
Yeah.
They had a neighborhood meeting at the diner, and the residents just tore the poor guy apart.
Yeah.
The developer.
Of course they
I
did.
can-
So then they came back. They said, okay, we're gonna come back down and stay in the planned development.
I'll double check, and make sure
Yeah.
for you, and I'll let everybody know that. I'll address it back.
Okay, I've got another question on, that's really why I was asking about multifamily. It looks like the one on the north corner of Speedway and Grand Champion Boulevard, it's like 5 up from the bottom. It says multifamily project. That sounds like another apartment.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is?
That's why I say the term multifamily can include apartments,
Right.
it can include townhouses.
But
it
I'm
can
sure
include
this,
condos.
that's probably an apartment.
And
though.
that's on
I've-
ISP.
Yeah, and I've looked at it, but still, it's, I think they probably had to get rezoned to put that in there at some point. So,
If that's the one, I'll double check on that one as well and let you know. I think that may have just been a site plan review. 'Cause I think
okay.
the zoning's
'Cause
already. I think
that's
it's PD.
another, I mean, that's gonna put more traffic right there on ISB anyway. It's the same issue in our growth here with no controls. really.
Speaking of that, I had a question concerning, are they proposing any major changes for the Volusia Mall? There was rumors saying they were thinking of doing like condos and different things there at the mall or changing it.
So, matter of fact, we were just talking about a potential project there with the chairman that, so Macy's does have a proposal to do, take the Macy's down and build a condominium.
Apartments.
Was it
Apart- yeah,
apartments
that's
or
what I
condominium,
thought.
multifamily.
Apartments.
I'll say multifamily.
5 units, I
Yeah.
think it was.
Right.
About multifamily uses being there. The balance of it, we have not heard any, and that's up to the property owner. But there's all kinds of rumors that swirl around about the.
So who originally asked for that Macy's project?
That is sold.
Yeah, I think it's
It
sold
was
to a
sold to
developer.
whomever is,
Whoever's going to use it.
Correct.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's.
So has it been approved or they're just,
Yes, because it was in site plan review the last time I saw them. They were ironing out just a few issues with, I think, a parking entrance.
Would be a permitted use, would it not?
They had to change it, I think it was a PD, so they had to change it.
That's gonna be a great
Include the
project
uses with that.
for the mall.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, that'll breathe a little new life into the mall.
True.
Yeah.
Definitely.
it's dead now?
It's a great
It is
thing.
I
dead.
just think we need to look at numbers when these people are asking, because they're gonna ask for the world. So if we kind of try to watch, you know, what those major numbers might be in relation to how many people, is what I'm trying to say, you know? We can't have 5,000 people move in there just because they want to use space for 5,000 people.
Right.
So that might be too hard to even imagine with some people, so, you know.
I would like to bring up a point. I think that, like, recently we had the Atlantic Beach project, which was a lot of controversy about zonings and land uses and stuff like that. And I was wondering the other day whether this body could play a role in assisting staff or a developer or an applicant in strictly reviewing the economic impact of what they're trying to do. Take away the zoning and the building issues and concentrate on the economic impact of jobs and taxes, and maybe have ourselves be available for a developer or an applicant to come in and make a presentation. Not that I'm trying to make the review process more lengthy or more laborious, but I think possibly our goal is to help implement the city goals and to advise the commission. And so if we could have now analyzed or have somebody come in and say, all of these things aside, this is the economic impact.
Right.
And have us look at that and make a recommendation either one way or the other to the board. I'd like to have this board consider doing that.
I think that makes a lot of sense because it really isolates that particular piece of the project, the economic impact, and allows that to be aired in a forum without the other things being, and I think that's a really.
Chairman Rand, Flagler County Economic Development, we run economic impacts all day long for any of the municipalities. If you need an economic impact run, you don't need to bring in somebody else. All you need to do is send the project over to us, and we will go ahead and do that. It takes 10 minutes to do it. I will tell you that the economic impact on construction projects is not that great when it comes to job creation because it is a limited time, and those are construction jobs. So once that project is done, if you're just looking at residential construction, there is a very low threshold of economic impact on construction.
But I think we're talking beyond residential projects.
Any project you need, we can
Yeah.
go ahead and run that
Yeah,
for you.
I know, but I think obviously someone coming in here with a commercial development, calculating the economic impact on that, and having a forum to air that that isn't cluttered by the other ancillary issues.
So what you're talking about right there is when you're going to run an economic impact of commercial use, what you're going to do is you're going to run the economic impact of the construction first, but then you need to know who the end users on that commercial are, because economic impact is going to be based on the number of jobs, the wages, and what those jobs are. So higher paying jobs that have higher skills are going to have a higher economic impact on the area. So you have to know who the end users are on those commercial projects.
Yeah, I would like to see it in a local forum. I would like to see it here in the city because it's, in front of us because we're the ones that are advising the commission. So I'd like to look at the taxes and the rent rolls or whatever it might be that developer could bring to us to enhance or sell the project. So I just think it would
Right,
be
and
something to look at.
I think the county's role would be to corroborate
Yeah.
what the developer is presenting. So.
Yeah, I mean, the database is
yeah.
wonderful.
Right, but give the developer a forum to really promote the economic impact of their project, obviously corroborated by the county with the numbers.
We're here for you.
Yeah, I think that.
I don't know where we go with that from here. But
Yeah, a few years ago, none of you were on this committee, I don't think, but we used to review not permits, but the developers that were coming in, and we would up or down whether or not they would get incentives, and somehow we kind of lost that, and so we don't get that information anymore.
So you do get that information. We just have not had the
That's somebody that-
threshold.
okay.
The threshold for the city to consider giving incentives is either $40 million capital investment, which is primarily building, or 100+ jobs above the median income.
Okay,
So if the projects don't meet that threshold, they do not get it. They do not get considered for an economic incentive
Brown and
package.
Brown was probably the last project that met that threshold.
it was
Last
the
project we had
rehab-
was in
rehab
Compass
hospital.
Health at the rehab hospital at Strickland Range in
Oh, really?
North
Okay.
Williamson. Yes, which y'all did consider.
Right.
yeah,
We brought that to you.
right.
Um,
That was
And
one
unfortunately,
that,
since I've been here, we had about 6 months of good times, and then
yeah,
since then, the economy has continually kind of tightened up, as you see from, just our TRT. If I was to, that would normally be 1 month back in June of 2022.
Right.
That would be a single month, that list right there, if not more,
Yeah, it's
for our TRT meetings.
changed a little
it's
bit.
changed a lot over, since
Yeah.
before COVID even.
Yeah, but that's, since my time being here,
Okay.
that's a 2 month. And there were there were 3 weeks we didn't have meetings because of, actually there were 4, because we had Christmas and
Right, right.
New Year's that we didn't have. But there were 2 work weeks that we did not have TRT because nobody came in.
Huh, okay.
So, yeah, but yes, you would still get those, and
Okay.
I keep hoping to get projects and trying to bring projects that we can get that threshold and bring you projects for you to consider.
Well, I appreciate it. I just wanted to
No, but
review that, yes.
yes. And the last thing is, yesterday we met with CRA staff and I met with a developer that's looking to bring a multifamily project with an integrated grocery store that specializes in local farmers' products. So think of a Trader Joe's, but would be based more on Florida grown products. And so we had a pretty good conversation with them yesterday. So we showed them a couple of sites that may be available because they need about 6 acres.
Oh, really?
And they want to be in a downtown area. They don't want to be, out in the
6 acres, that's a big market.
That's a big, plot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very good.
Very good. Okay, anything else, Jeff?
No, sir, that's it.
Okay, any other reports that we need to address? I see we have no old business, no new business, any new business?
What types of people have you invited to, speak to us? Have you gotten anything back from Miriam Viabi?
I contacted Miriam. She did not return an email or a phone call, so.
Really? I might
And I
contact
even
her.
reached out through the city manager who was going to meet with her. And I
Oh,
said, by the way, can you ask her? So that's why I had, now his name escapes me, the traffic engineer here last month.
Oh,
Sans
right,
Lassiter.
Right.
Yes.
We
Sans.
can ask him back again for like a whole session by himself. You know?
Well, so that's why the agenda's
Okay.
like this time was because I think we were here till after 10 o'clock.
Yeah, right.
Last time between
Yeah, yeah.
No,
Brownfields and,
Okay.
Sands.
That was a
talking-
really good meeting, though.
Yeah.
very good.
But I'm reaching out to the new director at the Ocean Center to come in for next month.
Oh, okay.
I still am trying to get Frank Kelleher from the Speedway, which this time will be perfect if I can get him to come in April, because that'll be
Sure. Yeah,
post Speed Weeks, post Bike Week.
all right.
Great.
They
Oh,
have some
that
time,
sounds great.
hopefully, to calculate some economic impact numbers.
Well, I might email Miriam and say, hey,
Ah, very good.
And it may not have got to her, it may have just went to her staff, but,
right, it probably,
and which was fine,
no
because
problem. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Do we have any public comment? Anyone out in the lobby that's waiting? No?
Can I just make a pitch
Sure.
for the city of Daytona Beach? So on Saturday at 8 a.m. is the Accelerate Daytona Beach 2024 Business Summit, and the county will have a booth there. We will be promoting Volusia Business Resources, but we are excited. It is a really robust agenda. Small business owners, it is, once again, it's at 8 o'clock. It's at the Yvonne Scarlett Golden Cultural and Educational Center, and we are excited to be there.
Thank you, Katrina.
Very good. Okay, with no public comment, we'll our next scheduled meeting is 8:30, March 20th. I believe I am going to be out of town for that meeting, so someone will
Okay.
have to.
I think I will be too, though.
So, in fact, I'm sure I'm out of town that whole week, so,
All right,
sorry.
we'll draw straws between
Yeah, I
somebody
know.
here.
I know. But we may want to make sure, because if Carol's going to be out too, we may want to make sure we have a quorum before we even,
Yeah, I'm going to be, I hate to tell you, but I'm going to be in Hawaii.
oh, wow.
Oh, enjoy yourself.
Could you
available?
kind of plug in through Zoom?
My
or-
Zoom, yeah, sure.
Well, okay, so since we're gonna have to be like this now, can I ask the board to not postpone, but the May 15th meeting?
Right.
'Cause I'm not coming back till May the 12th, off from a 2-week cruise.
Oh, okay.
So
Sure.
April, you're gone also?
May,
May.
I won't be
So,
back until
just skip-
the Monday before the May meeting.
But we'll have an April meeting. We'll skip
Yes.
March.
Are we allowed to postpone the meeting by a week? Or by chart, or is there something?
Since you had the ordinance, I thought you
Stone
had
that
the ordinance there
requires
with
us to
you.
have it on this day?
I think we can reschedule anytime we want, as long as it's a public notice. Because
Yeah.
we've done that with other boards. Better check.
This is 97.
Yeah.
I'll double check to
Yeah,
make sure.
because we could push
Yeah.
it back another week if we.
And I know we
needed to.
have done that before.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we can, you just public notice it and,
Yeah. We may, and actually, what we'll probably do is, we'll have somebody here. I'll probably come in and just be here, if somebody, just because they're used to being here on the 15th of May,
right.
say, sorry, they're not going to be here, they'll be here next.
Well, I'm still
Wednesday.
thinking about March, because both of us are going to be gone in March. So we
And-
have April.
and if you had someone scheduled to come in, we could push it by a week if, I'd be fine with pushing it back a week.
13th.
No,
Or-
I
Or
could say
27th.
13th, or I could do the week, I could do the
27th.
week before or the week after.
Yeah. This brings to mind, we used to have a vice chairman. Do we have a vice chairman?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah, so we can move it to May, I'll double check, make sure
Yeah,
there's
you can
nothing
look
in
at
the
that.
ordinance.
Let us know.
Matter of fact, Mr. Chairman, here, let's do it this way right here. Let's have a vote to do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so
I.
the week
I-
after, the Wednesday after?
Well, the Wednesday before is better for me.
Okay, so the
The
13th?
13th. So,
Everybody check their calendars real quick.
yeah.
March 13th?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm good.
Is that bike week?
No, Bike Week will be done by the 10th.
Okay, good. Okay, then I can come.
Yeah, I'm fine on the 13th.
You weren't
Get
here.
out, man. Down
Yeah,
the
so,
block.
the discussion is that we'll entertain a motion to move our March meeting to March 13th from the 20th.
All in favor?
If someone could make
I
a motion.
said, I made the motion.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay.
I made the motion for the 13th. I think.
Second.
I think I did.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, that's great.
There we go. That makes life
Good,
copacetic.
very good. That's what we want. All right, with that, we'll adjourn the meeting. Everybody have a good week.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Right.
too.
All right.